Welcome to Exploring the Paranormal. Hosted by Heather Leigh, PhD, Exploring the Paranormal offers a new, fresh look into paranormal research. Join Heather as she discusses some of the many haunted locations worldwide, discusses why these locations are haunted, hear from paranormal researchers about their personal experiences at these locations. Additionally, Heather takes a journey into the science behind the paranormal, discussing topics such as thermodynamics and the Heisenberg principle and how they both affect paranormal activity. Now, your host of Exploring the Paranormal, Dr. Heather Leigh.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing fabulous on this Tuesday morning. I know it's beautiful here in Florida, so I hope it's beautiful the rest across the country and anywhere in the world where you guys are listening to us. Which reminds me, today I'm kind of curious. You don't need to let me know exactly what city you're from, but just let me know what part of the country you're from, what state, what country. Would love to know where our listeners are coming from, and absolutely enjoy hearing from everybody all around the world. And that brings me to today's topic. We have some fabulous women from different parts of the world coming to join us today for a presentation, or not a presentation, a discussion on women in the paranormal. We have Katrine Sorilos from Greece. Aurora North was supposed to join us, but she is sick and sorry she can't make us, but she would have been from Canada. We have Nicole Ray. She's over in California. And then Christine Ayers, actually, I'm not sure where she's at right now, but she travels all over the place. But I do believe she's more in the southeastern USA. And welcome, Stephanie and Courtney. Thank you for answering my question. I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, you have snow on the ground in Wisconsin. Ooh, I grew up in Woodstock, Illinois, and do not miss the snow at all. But welcome, Stephanie and Courtney, for joining us. So glad to have you guys here. And thank you for letting us know where you're listening from. Definitely two areas that I need to get back to. Haven't been to Brooklyn, but I have visited upstate New York several times. And then, like I said, I grew up in the northern Illinois area and visited Wisconsin quite often. So I'm super excited. If you guys, I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but if you hear snoring or growling in the background, I don't have any paranormal activity happening in my house. My son came down to see what I was doing, and he passed out on the couch. So you may hear him now and then. And I just want to apologize now for that. And but it is quite humorous. People have told me they've heard him. We can hear him downstairs. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, and the whole snoring. Before we get started, of course, you guys, most of you who are watching know who I am, and there we go. Hey, sorry about that. It is just crazy. It's sunny, so who'd think that the internet would be acting wonky today? And Aiden's not even on the internet. That's usually what causes it. But I've talked about going to thrift stores, secondhand bookstores to find paranormal books, the older ones. Absolutely amazing information. Lots of fun stuff. And I found this one, and I think it was not Goodwill, Salvation Army of all places. It's called Science, P-S-I-E-N-C-E. Oh, there's a glare there. There we go. And this book is very interesting. It talks about quantum physics and new science and how it proves the existence of paranormal phenomenon. And I haven't really quite finished it yet, but there was one section, it talks about psychokinesis, and it even dives into, where'd it go? It has Einstein's theory, many worlds interpretation, and sorry, I'm trying to Of course, string theory, the Big Bang Theory. I can't find the page that it was on. I should have marked it, but it did have a section in here on black hole theory and how black holes can cause different paranormal phenomenon to occur and act as a, of course, you guys see in all science fiction movies where they talk about black holes act as a way to go from one place to another, almost like a portal. And very interesting. I'm going to dive deeper into that. And next week we'll have more information for that for you guys, because I know I want to talk more about the science in the field. Just haven't really done that lately, but mostly because a lot of the guests I've been having, all my scientific friends are on the West Coast and they don't wake up this early. So, but we'll definitely be diving into that soon and going over everything and getting back to my quick introduction. As always, I want to thank my sponsor, Omni Interactions, the company where you can work from home and get your life back. This is a 100% remote company looking for US-based customer service representatives to support the company's Fortune 500 clients. If you guys want more information about this, you can go to heatherleighphd.com and click on Exploring the Paranormal for information at the bottom of that page, or go to getgig.life/paranormal. They are a big supporter of the show. Absolutely love having them as a sponsor. And if you guys have any questions about them, you can always let me know. And I'm sorry about that. You can always let me know, or you can go to the website and find out more information. But it's definitely a great company to work for. And okay, so a little bit more about me. I've had more than 30 years experience in the paranormal. Most of you have heard the story, but I'm just going to repeat it for those of you who don't. And a lot of people find it interesting is I started getting interest in the paranormal when I was a teenager. Started seeing my grandfather, who died many, many years before that. And it was weird because it was a house that he was never in, never had any connection to. We bought it long after he had passed. So it was just kind of odd. And of course, you guys know back then, internet makes it easy today. But back then we had to go to the library and come home with stacks of books and spend hours and hours reading, which is probably why I still like books today. And it was just interesting. And it just kind of grew from there. Over the years, it developed into, behind the scenes research. I've done everything from like I said, behind the scenes research. I'm author, lecturer, paranormal researcher, educator. My paranormal team, which is my family and myself, we've appeared on Real Haunts Ghost Towns and Real Haunts 3, which is now available on Prime Video or Tubi. And I think there's a couple other platforms. If you go to Motion Picture Video on Facebook, it'll give more information on that as well as their website. And you can also, I'm trying to look here for more information. Sorry, I'm scrolling through real quick. Sorry, guys. Oh, shoot, I forgot to put my mailbag. I had a question, too, from somebody, which I'll get to that. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer anything. My guest should be joining me in about 20 minutes, and we are looking forward to having them here. Like I had mentioned, Haunted Florida Lighthouses is coming out on September 11th, and that is super exciting. And Haunted Florida Ghost Towns will also be coming out later this year. I have a few more chapters to go. And then my friend Larry Lawson over in Vero Beach, the founder of Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigations, is writing the foreword. He's an amazing guy, does tours. I'm hoping to have him on the show, this show, but he's been on Ghost Education 101 several times. So you can always make sure. And he'll actually be on the show coming up next month. I think we have a date for that. And also talking about Ghost Education 101 on April 26th, we have the haunted librarian, Lisa, coming back to the show, and she's doing a presentation on haunted York merchants. If you want to talk to somebody about research, she's the person to go to. Holy cow. If you Google search haunted librarian, check out her blog. But I think there's ways where you can still listen to her former shows. This woman is fantastic with research. She dives deep into the history and goes beyond just what you would see in history books. If she sees a name, she and who knows? Hopefully we get through the whole show because I don't want you anything. Oh, TMCC. For those of you who joined me last week, or a couple weeks ago, but last fall I hosted a show on haunted Florida, haunted Southern Nevada ghost towns with TMCC, which is it's a school in Reno, but they also offer online continuing education courses. This year on September 25th, they have me teaching a course from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific, and that is on the ABCs of paranormal research. So we're going to dive deep in 3 hours, go through all the different parts of it's almost like a virtual dictionary of the paranormal. And then October 9th, we'll be doing Pacific, or 6 to 9 Pacific. On October 9th, we'll be doing Ghost Hunting 101, and kind of figure out everything from there. So Ghost Education 101, it basically goes back to the basics. It's going to start from, okay, you've decided to be a paranormal investigator, day one. Here's what to do. Here's what you need to know. And that's going to be a fun class as well. So hopefully in the next month or two, I think their new catalog comes out, and we will be able to give you more information on that. And you guys remember my fabulous guest last week, Joe Frankie? He and I have several plans to do different things. We're working with Flumery Promotions. I have another friend who's working on a promotion company, so he's going to be setting up events with us as well and helping us get booked. And our biggest goal is we want to go up and down the East Coast, and of course Michigan, because Lake Michigan has probably the most lighthouses in the country. And we want to go to these different lighthouses, set up lectures where we talk together about different aspects of the paranormal, and also so we can then do a VIP tour at the end of that lighthouse and do a paranormal investigation of the lighthouse that we're visiting. So stay tuned for that one as well. That I'm actually looking forward to so much. And one of the best things is, thank you, Todd, for working in the background and trying to get me balanced out. I completely lost train of thought. Oh, and I've actually even bought, as you guys noticed last week, I have stuff so that way I can go on site. So if we are touring, I will still make time to do Exploring the Paranormal on Tuesday morning, so you guys won't miss out on that, and you guys can get direct updates from there. So if you guys have any questions, I truly am more than happy to answer them. And I'm so sorry for the growling in the background and also the technical issues today. I'm trying to think, because we still have plenty of time, and I told my guests to show up at 10:30. Oh, I guess I wasn't going to talk about this till later, but we can talk about this now. Excuse me. I wanted to talk about, for the tip of the week, is to just do you. There's so many people out there who in the field, they're trying to replicate what they see on TV. They're trying to do something because they think that's what someone wants to see, because someone wants to hear. Just go out in this field, do this because you enjoy it. Do it because it's something you truly enjoy doing, want to do. I mean, I'm trying to figure out the words here real quick. So I'm not glitching again. I'm just sitting here staring and thinking. You don't want to replicate what's already being done, because it's already being done. It's being seen, especially if it's not you. If it's you, then great, go ahead and do that. But if it's not you, change things up. Do things the way you like to do them. Like for me, I use non-tech tools. I mean, of course I have all the tech tools, the spirit box. I'm working on getting an ovilus, but that's more or less for presentations and, public investigations, because people want instant satisfaction, and you really can't get that if you're, using an EVP recorder and just getting EVPs, unless you do burst sessions, but those aren't as enjoyable during it. And that's one of those things where it's like, I really don't care about these high techy stuff. Because like I was saying, is if you mimic what's on the, a lot of people are in this field because they want to get on TV, which really shouldn't be the reason why you're in this field. But I always tell people you're not going to get into it. You're not going to get into TV or anything like that if you're already doing what's being done. Be different, be you. Don't focus on the end goal outside of helping people, getting the research, getting the answers, whatever path you choose in this field. A whole bunch of different ways that you can do that. And you'll get noticed. Trust me. They will see what you're doing. Just don't do it for the likes or anything like that. Do it because it truly, truly interests you. I mean, I still post on YouTube. I still post on Facebook, but it's not because I'm trying to cater to the audience. I view it as if this is my expression. If the audience wants to see it, watch it, like the page, great. But I don't go for, I was just talking a little bit earlier, my YouTube page has 10 likes. Woohoo. So it's one of those things where it's like, that doesn't bother me. Would I like it to be more? Yeah, but I get it. That's not why I'm here. I'm just here to share information and help other people. And Teresa just asked, what do you think keeps a spirit here? Good question. And that'll actually keep me hopefully talking until my guests arrive. So thank you for the question, Teresa. Of course, there's several different theories. Some people think that, for example, trauma, the ghost doesn't know, or the spirit doesn't know they're dead, so they're stuck here. Others are, they believe that they've crossed over and come back to watch over family. There's some theories out there where 10 days after death, people hang around just to make sure their family's okay. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure why spirits are here. And the other thing too is are they really spirits at all? I mean, there's some theories that I've been looking into, and I'm so hoping I can try to get some answers eventually. But one of them is that we're in parallel universes. And of course, everything is on a wavelength. And when we have that interaction, and I think Grant Wilson mentioned this on Ghost Adventures, like many, or not Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. Oh my goodness, he's going to kill me. Many years ago when it was still the original Ghost Hunters crew. They had mentioned where they might see spirits when these parallel universes cross. So as our wavelengths cross with each other, that's when we're seeing it. That's one theory I have. Another theory I have is it's more or less a comfort for me, because I truly do think that, like my grandfather, he's not always here, but I do believe that he still comes and sees me when he's needed. One story I've shared is 2018. We were getting ready to go on a cruise. Received a call in LA from my doctor back in Vegas, telling me he needed to meet me in the emergency room right away, because they had just done blood work. I did, my annual checkup. It was January, but we were left right away for a cruise. He had gotten the results from my blood work, and it was showing that I had stage 5 kidney failure. And so we ended up going to the ER in LA, and they confirmed it. But they said since I didn't have any symptoms, it was only the blood work showing it, that I could go on and enjoy the cruise, and then return and talk to my doctor when I got back home. Of course, did everything, retested everything, still confirmed that it was stage 5. They did a biopsy. Biopsy came back negative. That showed a healthy kidney. Still clueless as to what's going on. During this whole battle with the doctors doing tests left and right, my grandfather came to see me, told me that it wasn't my time, and then he faded away. And next thing we know, every time I went to the doctor, my kidney function improved. And as of a couple months ago, I know I was at stage 1 and they really weren't concerned about it. But as of a couple months ago, my doctor has released me from his care for kidney function, and told me that I have basically a normally functioning kidney now. It took many years. And of course, I did change my diet and a few other things. But I truly do believe that they're there to watch over us, provide us comfort when it's needed. And so that's another thing. I don't feel that they're stuck here per se. I feel that they might feel that they're stuck here in the aspect of they need to take care of us or continue taking care. They feel that need to take care of us. But then you also have the other theories that are out there that are possible, is I know I had Mike Ricksecker on a show a couple years ago, and one of his theories, I think it's kind of changed a little bit because I haven't heard him talk about it as much, but one of his theories is that spirits are actually aliens, or could be aliens, and they're coming through different doorways to get here, which goes back to that black hole theory that I want to research a little bit more. Is, so are we really seeing ghosts, or are we just referring to them as spirits and ghosts? I have no clue, and I know I'm babbling here. Yeah, agree. I don't feel they're stuck. I mean, it all goes with the free will. We have free will in life. We have free will as we pass on, and if we're truly stuck, what kind of I really hope that there's something more than just being stuck here. And but I wouldn't mind coming back and visiting. So many theories out there. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, unless the field progresses fast, I don't know if we'll know until we actually move on to that next section of our lives and see what happens after we pass. But I do agree with you. I don't feel they're stuck. And there's one other theory, but I cannot for the life of me think of it. And also when it comes to spirits, some people think that it's residual energy, or even a self-manifestation. And now my dog's snoring. I am so sorry, guys. Oh my goodness, this is going to be one of those days. Computer's glitching. But anyway, getting back to that, it's self-manifestation is, of course, you have all the, I think they're called, creepy pastas. I was going to say spaghetti pastas, but yeah, no, creepy pastas. I believe that's what they're called. Not a term I use often, but I've been asked about it several times, is when a story appears on the internet, like the Rake, Slender Man is another one. People start to all collectively believe about this, and they're actually self-manifesting the energy that's happening. Another theory, actually, in the self-manifestation, one experiment I talk about a lot is the Philip experiment. I would have loved to have been a part of that experiment, but that was long before I got into the paranormal field. I think it was a year before I was even born. And but with this experiment, a group of friends, I want to say about 5 or 6, I'm not sure the exact number, would get together every day for lunch or tea. And they gathered a little bit, and they would talk about their dearly departed friend Philip. Philip never existed. They did this for a year, continued on with it. And then when investigations were conducted, they started communicating with an entity named Philip. Now, whether it was a self-manifestation of Philip, or another entity saying, oh my God, these people want to talk to Philip. Hey, I'm here. I'm Philip, is unknown, but it's just really interesting on how our minds can make things happen. So going back to everything, it's a tough call. Our spirits, actual spirits, are they self-manifestations? Are they aliens coming from different worlds? A whole bunch of different things. Or are they just kind of hanging around to see how we're doing? It's interesting. And the other thing too is when we do investigations, if you think about it, a lot of people ask the same questions. Hey, who are you? Why are you here? The one that makes me cringe is, how'd you die? That's the last thing I'd want to talk about as a spirit, is how I died. I want to talk about what's going on and what's happening and all of that stuff. So if you think about it, because we're constantly asking those questions, are we actually imprinting on the environment an EVP session? So if someone comes in at the right time, triggers that residual energy, asks the questions, they're getting answers only because of that residual energy that's sitting there, and perfect timing, I guess you would say it would be. And welcome, Lee. Good morning. Glad to have you here. Sorry you missed the beginning, but just kind of chatting away until the guests get here. Today is going to be a fabulous show. For those of you who are just tuning in, like Lee, you guys can always check out my Facebook page at Exploring the Paranormal Show, or at Dr. Heather Leigh. the live feeds there as well. And I will be posting links to the YouTube and also the podcast channel so you guys can check out the replay or download it onto your device so that way you can listen to it in the future. And we have Katrine already backstage. We are just waiting on Nicole and Christine. So I have a few more minutes to chat away until it's our first commercial break. And then when we come back, we will bring our guests on board. So like I was saying, I know Teresa had asked my opinion on what I think about what keeps a spirit here. Would love to hear your guys' opinion. If you have any ideas or suggestions on that. I know everyone has different beliefs, and that's what I love about this field is we can all have, and this is where we need to come together a little bit more. And I see it missing just so we're almost there, but we're not quite there because there's still that infighting and all that bickering. But just because someone has a different opinion than you, it doesn't mean they're wrong. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just everybody has their own beliefs. Everybody, like I said earlier, do you. Do what makes you feel comfortable, but also let other people do what makes them feel comfortable. Not everyone is going to want to dive into an investigation. Like for me, I used to love doing residentials, but I had a heartbreaking experience a couple of years ago before we moved to Florida. And I've stepped away from doing residentials for a while. I'll do public investigations. I join another team sometimes. Haven't done it quite yet since I've moved to Florida, but I've been talking to, like I mentioned earlier, my friend Larry over, he does Indian River hauntings and Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigations. And I'm hoping to do different investigations with them, but they do a lot of public events, public speaking, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. And I like helping businesses. And this is probably going to make me sound cold-hearted, and maybe one day I'll get back into it. But after listening to a client cry on the phone for almost an hour, demanding she's not crazy and that something's happening, but yet conducting several investigations of her home, of myself and my husband, and then another team that went in that we were a part of at one time. It's just very heartbreaking. And so, like I said, I still help with residentials, but I'm kind of in the background, and I help with research, with the actual interviews and getting things going. And then I work with another team to pass that on and absolutely do everything I can to help that client without my being, I don't want to say directly involved, but without my putting myself in that position again, because that was really heartbreaking. I still cry because I have paranormal teams from Vegas giving me calls and messaging me asking for my evidence and what happened during the investigation, because she's still reaching out to other teams to get help, which I completely get. We couldn't help her. I couldn't find someone to help her. But we don't. So okay, there we are. And I am just babbling now. And while we're gone, I'm going to leave and come back in. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. But real quick, before we take that commercial break, I want to do, where'd it go? I'm so sorry, I lost my notes. But a quick shout out to Omni Interactions. This is definitely the company for you to work for if you are looking for a part-time, full-time, your time type of work. Perfect for a paranormal investigator. You can get all your tools, equipment, and work around all those crazy investigation and the crazy hours that we do. You can schedule yourself by the hour, or I think it was 30-minute and hour increments. I just accidentally deleted and I can't bring it back up, all the notes for that. But you can find out more information about the company at getgig.life/paranormal and let them know that Dr. Heather Leigh sent you. And we will be back after the break and see you guys in just a few minutes. Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about all the glitches. I've logged out and I've come back in, so hopefully that helps. And Todd, I know Catherine was in the background, but I didn't see the comments if anyone else had joined us. So I'm not sure who is quite here yet, but we will. Okay, and Nikki arrived. Okay, so we will get started. I want to welcome two amazing ladies. Nicole and Katrine, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm super excited.
Hello.
Hey, Katrine. Hey, Nicole. How are you guys doing?
Morning.
Good.
Good. And I think Christine should be joining us soon, but I'm not sure. I know her schedule's been crazy. But I'm so super excited to have you guys here. I wanted to do a show just dedicated to women of the paranormal field. And both of you have amazing experiences and do amazing things for the field. So real quick, Katrine, can you start by letting everyone know who you are? And can you share maybe a story about what got you interested in the paranormal?
Okay, I've been in the paranormal, well, actually, since a kid. You know, everybody, we all know that at a young age, we all see things, every single one of us, and we all see exactly the same things. It's so funny that we always feel like something's following us, or we hear our name, or someone's whistling, and we turn around and no one's there. You know, the weird knocks and things being, you know, moved around, and just the feeling that you're always watched. So everybody, you know, I think it's people that are empathic and sensitive and can actually feel it more intensely. Everybody's got gifts. Every single person has got gifts. We are born with our psychic gifts. They're imprinted in our DNA. So, you know, things trigger them off. So when I was 11, something triggered it off. And I really got into it. And then at that age, I had an auntie that took me to this place. It was called the Life Programming Institute. And it did seminars on how to develop your psychic abilities, remote viewing, self-hypnosis, command words. We did Esther method then when I was 11 in 1984. Psychometry. So, you know, different things. And that's how I got into it, and that's how I got involved in it. So from the age of 11 up to the age of 51, where I am today, I've been involved in the paranormal.
Perfect. I always love hearing your stories. And Nikki, your turn. Can you let everybody know a little bit more about what got you into the paranormal field?
Yeah, as a medium, I was just spirits mainly. I started hearing spirits when I was younger, and I can't remember exact age, but when I got lost in the woods, you know, that's when I started hearing spirits, and they actually guided me out of the woods. So they said I was gone for an hour. At least I made it okay on my own. After that, I got kind of hooked, and I've had weird experiences ever since.
And with both of you guys being psychics, that's one area that I still struggle in because I'm trying to develop my skills. And but do you guys feel that gives you an edge in the paranormal field, or does it hinder your investigations?
I think a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
It's a balance between both for me. Yeah. Because the mediumship gift, you know, it's the psychic gift and the mediumship coming in and entwining as one. So you're trying to sort of balance and see, okay, I can see things, I can feel things. I mean, just say I can go into a paranormal investigation, and as Katrine, I can see it, I can feel it. What about my teammates? Can they see it? Can they see the same thing? Can they feel the same thing? Some can, some can't. What about the person watching my video? Can they feel it? Can they see it? So that's why, to me, we have I believe having the equipment gives the, how do I say it? The verification of what a psychic or medium sees in the field.
Yep. And so you.
Sorry?
I was talking to Nicole. I saw her nodding, so I was checking to make sure she agreed with you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And shoot, I just had a question and it's gone. I really need to write down my questions. But one thing that I have heard from several female investigators in the field, which is why I wanted to do the panel discussion today, is they talk about how they experience, I don't really want to say prejudice, but they feel like they're pushed out because they're a woman. Do you guys, I've never personally experienced that. So I wanted to get some opinions on other investigators to see what you guys might think.
I did in Greece when there were. When in 2014, that's when paranormal teams in Greece started coming out in the open. So I was the first paranormal investigator, psychic, medium in a paranormal team. So everybody was like, I did get a lot of prejudice, not from the teammates that I was in with, but from other paranormal investigators. And other teams are like, how can, it's the equipment that sees things, why is a psychic medium seeing things? And, psychic mediums don't exist in Greece, despite the fact that Greece is one of the oldest countries, ancient countries that had the oracle, right? But then again, Greeks a lot with blinkers on. It's now that they're coming out in the open and actually starting to believe in the old ways and that psychics, and because religion here in Greece plays a big role. Being a Greek Orthodox, they're very like that. So yeah, I got prejudice from other teammates, team members, people watching the videos, and very religious people.
Okay. Nicole, how about you?
Well, I haven't really been on a team as of yet, but yeah, I can see that happening.
Okay. And then since I have both of you on here, one question that I get asked a lot is, how do you know if you're going to a authentic psychic when you're getting help? Any tips for the audience on how to find out if they're really going to someone who knows what they're doing or a complete fraud trying to take their money?
Okay, I've been talking first, so I'll let Nicole go first, and then I'll answer then.
Oh darn, okay. I was yes, that cold readings is where you fish out the information and you sort of wait for them to feed you the information, I would assume. I always say, don't ever feed a psychic any information. And then you can be upfront with what you can do and stuff that makes it go along a lot better with the readings.
Okay.
Okay. Since I do a lot of readings, and I do have clients that come to do psychic readings and mediumship readings as well, because both of them are different. A good psychic is someone that can connect your past, your present, and your future together. So if you go to a psychic and all they talk about is your future, this is going to happen and this is going to happen and this is going to happen, without actually validating your past and your present, then that to me is a fraud. Because anybody can say anything about the future. It's got to connect. Like I usually get, when I do readings, I get names, I get dates, I get star signs, I get features of who I'm talking about, like they come in as visions. So that to me is a good psychic.
Yeah. And here I still see everything in shadows. You guys make me jealous.
No, it'll come. Trust me. The reason why, let me tell you why people. How a lot of people say I see shadow people. I see shadow people. I've come to the conclusion that you do see shadow people is because you have never met that person. So if you're going to a haunted location, and then everybody's, they're seeing shadow people there without seeing the features, it's because it's in between our dimension and their dimension, right? So there's the thin line between the two of us, the thin veil. So you can't see the features because you've never met these people. So you don't know what they looked like when they were alive. So that's why you see them in a shape of shadow, because the soul is a shadow.
Right.
So, but when they start coming towards you and start feeling okay with you and comfortable, but because don't forget how they were when they were alive, that's how they are when they're dead.
Mhm.
The personality doesn't change. So as the coming towards you and feeling okay with you, the face starts taking shape. So yeah.
That makes a lot more sense, because we did an investigation in Vegas, and it was a former FLDS Mormon settlement, but it had been rebuilt and reconstructed to something new. And in the hallway, I could see the shadows of women in true FLDS, the full skirts and all of that stuff, and then two men.
Yeah.
But they were all shadows, but you could still tell what they were. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. So
And
as soon as
no one else saw it.
Exactly. So you're getting to the point, Heather, where you're able to see the form, right? And then you'll be able, at one point, it will just go boom like that, and you'll be able to see features. You will.
Yeah, I would see the full apparition. Now it opens and closes, but I mostly hear spirit.
Yeah. I think when we've talked before, Nicole, you had mentioned that most of yours is audio.
Yeah.
Yep. And Lee had asked a quick question about this goes back to the prejudice in the field. Old-fashioned ghosts may think that women shouldn't be out of the home. So maybe we experience some prejudice from older ghosts.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's like that everywhere, and not just a paranormal, right? Also in the workplace,
I believe that. I'd like to say good morning to Kenneth Torres as well. Good morning, Kenneth.
Yep. And Jerry also joined us. He said that would be his first question as a person who is a psychic, as a piece of as psychic as a piece of lint, and so many people claiming to be psychic or a medium. It's a big skeptical area for him.
That's why I answered that question exactly like I did.
Yep. Perfect. So what keeps you guys in the field? What keeps you going? Like what's the one, like for me, it's the research. I absolutely love the research behind everything. And everyone has a different reason as to why they still stick around.
Me, it's the research as well, and the validation that what I'm seeing is, hey, I'm not going crazy, bringing the straitjacket. I'm actually seeing what's there and what's happened, and how every timeline links together. So it's just every time I go to a haunted location, it's like getting candy for the first time. That's how it feels. So yeah.
And Nicole?
I was reading research and also helping the living and the dead.
Yep. And since we talked about research, I know I prefer to research before I go to a location, just because it helps me with my questions. But I know most psychics are best off not knowing about the location. You guys both agree with that one?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know. Go away.
No, one example I always use, just because I don't go in as a psychic on the investigations. So I do my research ahead of time because, and it validated it when we did the old Mormon location. Someone had asked who's the current president of the United States, and it came back Jeff's. And all the other researchers are like, no. And they, were like, who? I think it might have still have been Trump. I'm not sure when we investigated there, but they're like, no, it's so-and-so. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I did a whole bunch of research, and this used to be a Mormon location. They truly believe that, Rulon Jeffs was the president.
Wow.
So it was kind of interesting to have that, for me, that validation of my research before going to a location. And, those are things that, you don't think of when you're just going in cold, unless you pick it up or the spirits tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I always find the spirits leave me hanging. They give you just enough information, and then they let you fill in the pieces. So again, guys, we are talking about women in the paranormal, open discussion today. As you guys know, we can talk about anything. I know I have been talking a little bit about psychic abilities because I have these two great ladies here, and they're the two that I usually go to when I have questions anyway about psychic abilities. So feel free to ask any questions you have. Truly happy to have everyone here watching. I know I saw Lee is joining us. Jerry, Courtney's still here. Kenneth Torres is here, and Teresa was here earlier, but I'm not sure if she's still here. So Teresa, if you're still here, say hi. And again, ask any questions you guys have. We are basically here to answer, and help you guys out. That's the one thing I love about the paranormal. which leads me to my next question is one thing I've encountered, and I cannot believe this. I had a question while I was researching a book, and I reached out to someone who had written a similar book about the area that I was researching. And they told me to go buy the book if I wanted the information. They weren't willing to talk to me. So what are your guys' views on when people come to you with questions? I mean, are you more than happy to answer them? Or, you know, I know you guys won't go as far as saying go buy the book, but
I will sit down for hours explaining the way I learned from my experience, from what I've read. And you know what? Going by the book is like telling somebody, hey, I couldn't care. And I don't have the patience to sit there and explain, because I went through a lot of bip shit to find the information. You should go through the same thing. No, it doesn't work that way.
yeah.
That's why there are mentors. That's why we've got teachers. Because if we're all going to go by the book, we're not going to learn anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Nicole?
Yeah, I agree with that note. I mean, I'm more than happy to help someone who's in the field or writing, because, you know, I read a few books myself.
I was going to say, you've written plenty of books to where you could be like, hey, check out, what was it, 16 you're up to now?
Almost 13.
Almost. I'm catching up. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm
Working
getting
on
there.
14 and 15 though.
Okay, and Jamie Lind has joined us saying, good morning, ladies. I'm honored to say hi, or say I have an all-girls team. Cool. Would love to see how that works out. And then Courtney wants to know, how do you balance your spirituality with 3D?
Okay. Nicole?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
It was, how do you balance your spirituality with the 3D? Three-dimensional.
I thought that's what that meant. Okay, I wasn't sure. Well, I guess you have to balance yourself between your psyche and I'm more of a medium, but I think I'm also a psychic in a way. But I try to keep it balanced by meditating and grounding mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Catherine?
Okay. There's not only 3 dimensions, right? There's more dimensions. So you try to balance yourself with like, for instance, I will find myself going to, when I'm sleeping and while I'm astral traveling, going to different dimensions and different planes where I don't know. I've never met these people. I'm seeing people that I've never met, houses that I've never seen in my life. So when I come back, I know that I feel exhausted when I wake up the next morning, because I've been doing a lot of walking, a lot of talking, a lot of things with these people that I've never met, which are in other dimensions and other planes, right? So in the morning when I wake up, I do my cleansing. I've got my shaman water here. So I do my cleanse. I take a shower every morning. I put some camphor oil in my sponge and in my shampoo. So I'm cutting cords with the etheric plane and the other dimensions. And if it was too much of a heavy night, other people go outside and get drunk. I usually travel to other dimensions. I grab my selenite. If it was a really bad night, I grab my selenite, and then I've done everything like that. And then I just, boom, cleanse myself. Like today, I'm a bit off. I'm still a bit off because last night I traveled to, I don't know where I went. It was really weird. I remember bits and pieces, but I think the older we get, the less we remember. Mm-hmm. So, they let us remember what they want us to remember. And when I woke up this morning, even now, like I feel like I'm still levitating, that I'm not actually grounded. Despite the fact that I've done all of the above that I just mentioned, I'm still bloody levitating in the house.
And it's funny, I still carry the crystals in my bra that you told me to carry a couple years ago. They're on every investigation with me.
Good girl. And I can tell you more.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of crystals, which crystals do you guys recommend using to protect yourself when you guys are on an investigation?
Okay. Nicole, do you want to answer that? And then, because I'm always always in front. Poor Nicole, go ahead, hun.
Yeah, I like to carry black crystals mainly. What's that one? Black obsidian. Yeah, that's right? Black obsidian.
Yep. I love
And
obsidian.
I have one right here. Kind of small, with hard to carry, but and black tourmaline bracelet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. My son wears the
My
black
favorite.
tourmaline when he does investigations.
And I wear the same minute metal.
Mhm.
And the other crystals. And this is fluorite, I think.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Communication.
Yep. Catherine?
Me, I usually wear this. My husband made this. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. It's tiger eye. It's got selenite, and it's got moonstone as well. So it's protecting my solar plex, because that's where everything goes in and out from. And that's where your soul comes out from. That's where your etheric body comes out from. That's where actual spirits might come through.
Mm-hmm.
And the selenite for protection, and the moonstone for my psychic abilities to get more enhanced when I go into places. Also, in my bra, I carry black onyx or black tourmaline or black obsidian. One of the three blacks, red jasper, and a small piece of clear quartz to amplify all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a few other things in the backpack.
I know it's always funny when we go on investigations, we open up my case, and of course you have the dowsing rods and the fidget spinners that I use, and then a whole bunch of crystals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always a fun time. So since I know as psychic mediums, your most valuable tool on investigation, of course, is yourself. Yeah. But is there any other particular type of investigating tool you guys like to use?
I do dowsing rods. I do with the pendulum. Mostly that, like myself, and the dowsing rods, and that's about it. And then all the electrical equipment which the other investigators have with them. I will interact with those with the electrical equipment, but to validate myself and to validate them as well. So that's it.
Nicole?
Yeah, likewise. I like to use the dowsing rods and pendulum as well. I love to feel the energies on them. And let's see, any of the other equipment. I like REM pods on, what do you call them, cat balls or light up balls? And
cat balls.
I call them cat balls.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. It's funny, my co-host on Wednesday nights, he can't stand that term. So everyone logs in and like, I use cat balls.
But they are cat balls, guys.
In the old spirit box, or a radio hat or anything like that with.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, Nicole, since you and I are going to be talking later tonight about Ouija boards, so I'm not going to share my opportunity because it'll be I'll be in the guest seat tonight with Nicole. Nicole, real quick, what are your thoughts on Ouija boards? Nicole, you
want me to go first? Sorry,
oh yeah, you go first. I have a different question for Catherine.
I always think they're just like a divination tool if used properly. And I always say, if you're afraid of it, don't use it. I would say just play Monopoly instead.
Yeah, and one thing I've always said is it's no different than an EVP session. You're
Yeah,
still opening yourself up to something. You don't know what it is. And you kind of are like, leaving yourself hanging if you don't close things properly.
exactly. That's true. I agree with you girls there, because it's like using a pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yep.
going into in a private investigation, or going into a haunted location and go, is anybody here? Two knocks for yes, one knock for no, and you're like, you're inviting, you're actually provoking, not provoking, but you're inviting, you're talking. It's exactly the same as the Ouija board.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And actually, it's funny because Joe Frankie and I are starting a presentation called "To Ouija or Not to Ouija."
Oh,
And you have two different views during this presentation on the whole process. So it's turning out to be really interesting, and
nice.
hopefully people start liking that one. But Catherine,
I don't use them though. I don't use them because I used them twice in my life, and twice. This is going back when I was 15, and I remember with my friend, she did it with a little piece of paper and a glass, and she wanted to call her dad, but not her dad that came through, and the glass went flying against the wall, and I'm like, no. Nope. And then another friend of mine, when I was 22, she goes to me, I want to bought you an angel board. And I'm like, what? An angel board? What's an angel board? And I opened it up. It's a Ouija board. I'm like, it's a Ouija board. She goes, no, it's got angels on it. God.
I've seen those. They're promoting those lately a lot more.
Boards. I like those pink boards.
Yeah. And we started playing. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if it was the energy there, but it was a plastic little thing, and then it just sort of lifted up in midair and went, and I went, closed, boom, in the rubbish bin.
Yeah, no, I have pendulum boards.
Yep.
That have, the same thing a Ouija board has. And
Exactly.
I've used those. But I've never even owned a Ouija board. I have a glass tray that sits on my table at Halloween. That's a Ouija board, but it's a candy dish.
Exactly.
That's as close as I've gotten to it. Catherine, I remember a couple years ago watching a video where you were moving a piece of paper with your mind.
Yep.
Do
Telekinesis.
you mind sharing more information about that?
Okay. In our DNA, like I said at the beginning, we've got our psychic abilities. One of our psychic abilities is psychokinesis. Psychokinesis comes from the Greek word psychokinesi, which means to move with your soul. Psyche is your soul. Kinesi is moving. So for the audience that don't know, I am Greek Australian. I'm Greek, so I do speak fluent Greek. So most words out there are Greek when it comes to our gifts, right? So what it does, when I was taught at the age of 11 to actually move it, is it's mind over matter. It's actually focusing on that. So you can start off with a small little item, okay, like a piece of paper from tobacco, the tobacco, the rollies that they do. All right, that's a very light piece of paper. And then you can put it on a cork and a needle and just focus on it without breathing on it. Have everything closed around you so there's no wind coming through. Focus that it's actually moving. Move it with your mind. Move it with your with actually giving it not a command. It will take a long time to be able to move it. Some people might move it straight away. Some people, they'll get frustrated thinking, I can't do this. As soon as you feel that your forehead or your third eye or your temples are hurting, stop. Take a break for 5 minutes. Do it again. It's actually your energy. Your energy is actually, that's what it is. Psyche is your energy. Psyche is your energy. Your energy is actually moving it without touching it, at the beginning, because our hands, there's energy between our hands, because we do energy balls. We can do energy balls. We can do things like that, right? So you can feel it. Even the hands, when they get together, you can feel them getting hot. So that energy comes out. It's like your magnetic field is actually moving the item. So slowly you can do it like that, starting off with your hands, with the energy of your hands, and then take your hands away, and then you can do it with your mind's eye. And then you do it with something like a bigger item. But yes, guys, we can all do psychokinesis. We can all do telekinesis. Those words are both the same thing. Telekinesis means moving something from afar. So yeah, you can. Everybody's got that ability. Now it's different when you've got poltergeist activity, like doing psychokinesis. 98% of poltergeist activity is mostly humans and young humans moving stuff and not actual spirits.
Yep.
I hope I covered everything.
You did. And I remember at one point you actually put a glass vase over it to prove that there was no wind contamination.
Exactly. I did. I put up. I've got that video on my YouTube actually, and on my TikTok. I actually put a vase on top of it so I can prove that it's not the air, it's not my hands doing the motion, and I actually put a mask on my face so it shows that I'm not blowing on it. Now, if you ask any of those Copperfield people that do the magic tricks, they'll be like, oh, you're doing this magic trick. No, man, I'm not doing that magic trick. You might be doing that magic trick with magnets and shit like that. I'm actually using my psychokinesis. And that's my argument with a lot of tricks, people that think they're Copperfield out there.
Yeah.
They can come and we can do it. We can demonstrate it together. I've told them that many times.
And I'll find that video and I'll post it up on my page as well for others to see that, because it was a really interesting video. And so yeah, and that kind of brings me, you actually started answering the one question, is a lot of the paranormal activity, is it psychokinesis and telekinesis that spirits use to move things? And the other question is, when did that shift suddenly happen? I remember it almost felt like everybody woke up one day and now poltergeist activity was human caused and no longer a noisy ghost.
Well, poltergeist activity comes from the word poltergeist, which is German, and it comes from, very noisy spirits, right? So people in the, it's a mix, because when you do a seance, right, when you've got, in the olden days, they used to do, how Nicole said, they used to play Ouija boards like Monopoly. Well, in the olden days, the French, the German, the Russians, they used to all get together, even as an experiment, or especially the French, they would gather together in big tables every Friday or every Saturday and hold a seance. And through the medium there, the spirit will speak, but it wasn't just the medium that the spirit was speaking through the medium. They were getting actual activity, because they were opening different doors, but to them it was just a game. But that's them. They were playing with something like that every Friday, or once a week they will hold seances. So of course you're going to get real poltergeist activity when you have got all the time a doorway open, a gateway open. You're never closing it. Now, when it comes to a normal home, and the fact is that the children, young children, they come in, they've got the psychic gifts from day one. Okay. So as they're getting older, they don't know how to deal with those psychic gifts, especially if they don't have somebody to teach them, to explain to them, okay, that the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed is because of this and this and this reason. Like, I'll give you an example. My son, all my kids have got abilities, right? My son, a couple of weeks ago, he got upset about something with his girlfriend. He got so upset on the phone with her that the lights in the house started flickering. And he heard a slam in the backyard in the door. He knocks. So he's dropped the phone, thrown the phone, came outside thinking that someone's trying to get in the back door. No one was there. And he calmed down. So all the activity calmed down. So there's your example of a young 21-year-old male getting excited, getting upset, getting frustrated, and his gift just gone like that, full blown, and causing phenomena in his home.
Mhm.
Now, if that was me, if I didn't know any of these things, I would have gone, oh my God, I've got ghosts, I've got the devil in my house. Let me bring the exorcist in and bless my house. And no, I know that my child at that point, he was actually activating it. He was actually causing all this commotion. It was him.
Yep. Yeah. I remember growing up, and this was before they figured it was human caused. Every time I would get upset, when we didn't put two and two together until I started learning more about it, we had a brand new car, and all of a sudden the car horn would just start going off.
Yeah.
And we'd go out there, we'd hit it a couple times. We took it in to get checked, by the dealership, and nothing was wrong with the car.
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, it's like, oh, well, that probably happened when I was, angry or upset or, something like that. And that I was causing it, which was, we were so stumped.
Because it was actually you causing it. So you're actually doing it. But the older we get, those abilities sort of calm down. The ability of telekinesis like that calms down. So it's not that it goes away, it's there. But the younger you are, your blood is boiling when you're young.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yep. And Nicole, quick question for you. You do a lot of music. And
Yes.
I've seen the music you've written. It looks amazing. I wish I could play to save my life, but I can't. Do you feel that when you start playing your music, that the spirits seem to come out more often, or do you play your music to try to pull them out more often?
Oh yeah, I think a little bit of both. Like whenever I play certain songs, I'll hear them hum along or sing.
Yep. And have you ever, either one of you, had a message come through about someone? Do you guys go tell them? Because I know there's different controversy over, should I tell this person that this message came through when they didn't ask for it? Or, what do you guys do in that sense?
Me, I don't use filters. I don't have filters. I don't. I'm like, every time I do a reading, either if it's a mediumship or a psychic reading, I'm like, look, I see the bad stuff. I see the good stuff. Do you want me to tell you? Like, I see death. I see sicknesses. I see the good things too. I see names, dates. Do you want me to tell you? There's some people that are like, yeah, I don't want to know about it. And there's some people, yeah, I want to know about it. So, boom, when I do it, I say it straight as I see it.
Yep.
The only time I never said anything, and it still breaks my heart to this day, and I don't think I would ever be able to say it. I had this mother, this lady coming to do a psychic reading, and she had 2 young children. And as soon as she walked in my house, I could see in her tummy area cancer in liquid form. And I said, I was taken aback, and I said, you got cancer in liquid form. She goes, I just came back from the doctors. That's what they told me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And it just came out like that. I blurted it out. And she goes, okay, Catherine. She goes, how many months? I go, what? She goes, how many months of life do I have? I couldn't tell her, guys. I couldn't. Heather, I couldn't say it. I knew it, but I couldn't say it. She goes, come on, I need to fix my things with my children and my home and my husband. I need to put everything in order. Please tell me. I couldn't. I told her sister, though. I said, 3 days. I said, in the 3rd of March, I see the number 3. So I'm like 3rd of March at 3:30 in the afternoon, 3rd month of 3:30 in the afternoon. And she rang me, her sister actually rang me and told me that she died at the 3rd of March, 3:30 in the afternoon. And that broke my heart. Christine, that was her name. That I still remember it, and we're going back 15 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, stories like that are heartbreaking.
Yeah.
How about you, Nicole?
Yeah, I even get dream visitations quite often. One that really bothered me because the last one was my grandfather, and I didn't even know he passed away. And when I saw him, it's like I had to phone my stepmom. She said, "Sure enough, he's passed on." I think it kind of scared her.
Yeah. Yep. And I know we've all encountered someone who doesn't wait for the celebrities to be buried before they start trying to contact them and do readings and sessions. But
Yeah.
I know you guys might not ask for them to come to you, but have you ever been approached by the spirit of a celebrity or someone well known? Nicole, you're kind of nodding.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at Nicole.
Yeah, so we're not far from Hollywood, so it doesn't surprise me a bit. I've had quite a few celebrities through.
Any you care to share, or are you going to keep those to yourself?
Can I share one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard Robin Williams.
Oh,
He's so funny.
yeah, he would be a fun one to to communicate with.
Yeah,
Catherine?
No,
No.
I know. No. Oh, only once when I was, I don't know if I can share this, when I was in the Warren Legacy Foundation, where I had Lorraine come through and send a message. And it was, if you remember, Christmas time.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were all there at Christmas
I
time when
remember
that
that.
happened. Yep. And
Yep.
I said what I had to say. And I think that was the only time. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, I would have loved to have met her in person.
I think
Yeah.
everybody would have. Everybody would have.
Just to pick her brain.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So, any suggestions you guys have for someone, regardless of age, that wants to try to tap into their psychic abilities? What would you recommend that they try to start doing? Nicole?
I would suggest them to start reading about it and do research and seek out mentors that you trust.
Catherine?
I agree with. Sorry. Go on, Nicole.
I forgot to throw in the Warren Foundation. They have, groups that you can seek out help with as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with Nikki as well, with Nicole. Start reading real books and not everything you read on the internet. Reach out to mentors and teachers that you trust. Just like Nicole said, they'll are able to, hang on, give me a second. Señor. It's my son. Okay. I've got this in the background because everybody's just sitting in the living room. My kids, my husband, they're playing PlayStation, but they're very quiet. They've learned that when mummy's working, no one speaks. So, seek out teachers that can actually help you and not people that are trying to use you or exploit your gifts or use you for money.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of classes out there, not just in the paranormal field, but a lot of instructors teaching classes.
Yep.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because I've seen some that are just like $20 just to, get connected, to a couple $100 for a month-long class.
I did because I've done a lot of courses in my life, right? And face-to-face courses. And in Australia, I was with the Australian Academy of Applied Parapsychology. For 2 years, the course that I did costed me $2,000. So did I learn? I did. But have I learned more things with my experience and out in the field? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep. How about you, Nicole? What are your thoughts on classes?
I was lucky enough to find a good mentor. She's willing to take me into her classes even for free. And there's a lot of them you have to pay for.
Right.
And I've done business and paid classes, which is a wealth of information, of course. How to help you over the years.
Yeah, I know Diette, she does a Monday morning show on WLTK radio. She's actually doing psychic classes, and I think Joe said he signed up for them. And
Nice.
He's been really interested in enjoying those classes. So it's, as long as you find, I always say when it comes to the paranormal, as long as you're learning,
Exactly.
it's always a good thing. I know a lot of people frown upon classes just because you're spending money for things that you can learn on the internet. But, I've taken classes where it's like, I already knew that. I can't believe I wasted my money. But then you take a class and it's like, oh, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, it depends. Exactly, it depends on what class you're going to fall upon or what teacher you're going to fall upon. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And also finding, reputable classes. I know it's tough, but they're out there.
True. Very true.
It's just a matter of, just finding a reputable team too. I mean, you never know who you're dealing with until you work with them or talk to them more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we still have plenty of time. I'm out of the few questions I did write down, I think. Yep. Actually, what would be, this is a question I ask all the time, is what would be your most memorable experience in the paranormal field? Okay. It's like picking your favorite child.
Yeah, which you don't have any. I mean, right. I've got 5 kids. I don't have a favorite. Hang on. This is hard.
They're probably all in the background staring at you now.
Yeah, going. Yeah, you know what they do. You know what they say. Yeah. No, Maria's your favorite. No, the other one jumps in and goes, no, she's your favorite. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, kids. So yeah. Okay, I've got 2. All right. I was in America last year, from March till October. So I went to the battlefield in Indiana, and I went to the Monroe House. I think everybody's heard of the Monroe House. Okay. Now with the battlefield, you could actually see the Indians on the other side. I could feel their energy. I could see them across from the creek, right? And I could feel the American soldiers just sitting there, sleeping. And then when they started attacking, it was in the afternoon, so the sun was coming down, and I was walking close by there, something hit my thigh, and it actually hurt. So I looked, and I had a shape of an arrow on my thigh. So I said, I got hit in the battlefield. I did. I was in the middle of the war. I got hit in the battlefield. So it must have been around, it started, the sun was going down. It was around between 6 and 8 o'clock that happened. And I think that's when they probably attacked or they came through. Because I was caught right in the middle. And the other time in the Monroe House, on an investigation, in the Monroe, in the basement, it's like an abyss. It's chaos down there. It is just, how do I explain it? It's like it drags all the energy through the hole down there. There's a big hole, and it just drags everything. It's a big vortex. So I could feel them souls coming through that place and through the basement, through the stairway by the thousands, right? And I could hear the footsteps, right? Because I can hear, I can see, I can feel, I can smell. I've got all the clear senses. And the other team that was there, they were provoking. And I'm like, please don't provoke. Stop provoking. And they were getting upset with me because I was telling them to stop provoking. And that's another thing that I hate that investigators do, is that they're walking a place and it's like, hello, this is not your place. This is their place. They've been here before you. You need to show respect. Don't walk into a place and start provoking for no reason. So they started provoking really bad. And I'm like, please stop. Let's, even when they were doing the session of the Gonzville, it was saying, get out, go to hell, get out. It was actually answering back, get out of the house. And I'm like, you can hear it. It's actually saying, get out. It must have said it, I don't know, about 40 times, get out. And the more it was saying it, the more they were provoking. So I started feeling souls coming through me, right? and I haven't felt that for years. I don't let them come through me, and I'm like, they're coming. As soon as I said they're coming, and I said stop, and then my flashlight that I had on my staircase went up and went woof across the wall, and I just went, look, bugger yous, I'm out. That's it, I'm done. You can stay down there and provoke. So that was one of intense. That was really intense, and that happened last year.
Yeah, I remember when you were coming, I wanted to get there, but I couldn't get there.
Well, I will come again. That's a promise.
Yep, definitely let me know.
I will. And I'll come and visit you guys because
Nicole,
I was stuck.
Yeah. Nicole, what was your most memorable experience?
Well, this is when I was younger. One time I was visiting my grandparents and felt like someone sat at the edge of my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we figured it might have been my great grandfather paying a visit. And there's another time where I don't know how you feel about orb, but I see this orb anomaly twice that same evening. And I think it's trying to contact me for some reason, but we still don't know to this day what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think about orb, but that was nice.
And that actually brings me to another question: is what are your guys' thoughts on orbs? I ask that a lot, and I get so many different answers. So, Nicole, since you were already talking about orbs, what are your thoughts on them?
Orbs can be many possibilities. Could be as spirits, angels, demonic, particles in the air. It could be, a lot of things.
Katrine?
Okay, I agree with Nikki. Orbs can be many things. It could be dust particles. It could be something with your lens of your camera. It could be water particles of humidity in the place that you're in. So if you could debunk all that, because when it's like humidity, like water particles, humidity particles, dust, the actual orbs are more rounder and they're more see-through. So when it's actually a spirit orb, right? The shape is totally different. Like it has like the edges of the orb are not perfect, and it's more solid. It is really solid, and you can actually see some of them come out with different lights, colors, like reds, greens, and depends on the colors that come through. That's when you know what kind of an orb is it. Is it a good spirit? Is it demonic? Is it angelic? Is it the Fae people? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my husband, we were at an event last year, and he was trying his best not to laugh, but someone came up to me and was talking my ear off, and then pulled out their phone and said, check out all these ghosts that I've captured. And it was all dust, bugs. And I'm sitting there trying to be nice because this person really believed. And him watching me squirm and trying to be nice, he was just like...
Yeah, you got to debunk everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah,
exactly. It's funny. And actually, talking about photos real quick, I had a guest on a couple weeks ago that talked about how she just learned that she could do readings of photos. Do you guys do anything like that?
Yeah, that's psychometry.
Okay.
Nicole, do you want to?
I haven't really gone that far yet, but I'm open to it.
Huh? Okay, there we go. Yep. Sorry, guys. Now you can see my background. Because it was getting a bit all over the place. Like I wasn't, like my hands were not moving. So there's my kids and my dog and my husband. But they're all quiet. Okay. So we were saying psychometry?
Yes.
Okay. I'm working at the moment with a lot of cold cases, missing people cases on a show. Grizzly on the Hunt. Christopher, I don't know if you know him, Christopher Grizzly, that's his name. He's got my husband's got the phone. He works on a lot of cold cases. And so I'm on there. So all I get is a photo. I don't get nothing else. No name, no location, no nothing. And through the photo, I'm able to use psychometry and able to find out who the person is, what is the background, how they died, are they murdered, are they alive, where even like finding out together with psychometry and remote viewing, if you combine those two together, you can actually be able to even spot and see where they might be buried or,
Yeah, I like the remote view. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people doing remote viewing, and I fail every time I try, but I keep trying.
Good. It's not hard. Do you want a simple exercise on how I learned how to remote view?
Okay.
Okay. This is at the age of 11. Remember that the place that I went to, the institute that I was telling you?
Mhm.
They had us close our eyes and visualize a screen, a white screen. In the white screen, we started visualizing and building a flower, a rose. First, the outside of it, that was black, and then we'll put color through it, like the green, the leaves, the shape of the leaves, the flower, how it was, the red, the color. So that was our first exercise of actually remote viewing a flower, a rose, because we've all seen a rose, what it looks like, right? So you're remote viewing and you're actually fixing it on your screen. So that's how you practice with your remote viewing. That's a simple exercise. And then, then you start with locations that you've been. Like, just say you've been to your mom's place, okay? You know what your mom's place looks like. Close your eyes, remote view it. That you're walking through the door, you're going to the living room, in the kitchen where the fridge is, you're going upstairs in the room, you're seeing this, and maybe you might see something new, okay? That your mum, or you asked your mum to put something on the table, like a lemon or a vase or something. And don't tell her not to tell you what it is. Okay? Say, Mum, I want you to put an object on the table. In the living room or in the kitchen table. Walk in, observe the table, see what you see. Come back to her and I tell her, Mum, did you put a vase? Did you put an apple? Did you put a fork? Boom, you've done the start of the remote viewing. That's how simple it is. It'll take a few practices. You probably will fail. We all did. But then you'll be able to do it. It's not hard.
Perfect. Lee had asked, is there more fae in one part of the world than others?
Ooh, no, I think they're all over the place. Every country has got its own fae people, its own nymphs and beliefs. So they're all over the place.
And actually, this question was asked earlier. I wrote it down so that way I would remember. Someone had asked me, why do I think spirits hang around? So why do you guys think they hang around?
Nikki, I've been talking a lot. Come on.
Sorry,
Don't stop.
anyway, I think they're hanging around because they might have some unfinished business, or they feel you don't realize that they passed on. And there's many possibilities why they might be around, and they might just be waiting for us.
Yep. Yeah. I there's so many different ways, theories that I've heard, and I still haven't picked which one.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it. There's a lot of people. A lot of people beliefs are different. Every country's got its own. Every religion's got its own beliefs.
Yeah.
But they all have the same base, I think.
Yep.
So my answers to that is that, as an Orthodox, as a Greek Orthodox, right? That's how I was raised, and I think the Catholics are exactly the same. and the Hindus, it takes about 40 to 50 days for the soul to transit from our world to the next world. Other people call it the purgatory, other people call it the limbo, before apparently going into paradise. So in those 40 days, a lot of houses, I don't know if they do it over there, here in Greece, we cover our mirrors. So the soul doesn't get trapped in the mirror, because the mirrors are apparently our portals. The reason I believe souls stay back is because, like Nicole said, they either have an unfinished business, or they haven't realized that they're dead, or whatever was waiting for them to cross them over, the psycho bomb to cross them over. Sometimes not. Sometimes the psycho bomb, you know what a psycho bomb is, might forget. Those are the people. Those are the soul, the spirits that cross over the soul. Sometimes, because there's a lot of psycho bombs. Archangel Michael's a psycho bomb, right? He takes the soul from Earth to the underworld, or to the other side. Sometimes, or he has his own psycho bombs. Sometimes they're so busy that they forget to take that soul, so that soul starts wandering off. Sometimes it's the soul gets frightened of death, that doesn't want to let go of the body, or they're angry that they died. So the longer they stay on Earth, they start losing the memories. After 3 months, they start forgetting who they are and why they're here. So the fragments of the memories starts breaking away. And the more they stay back, the more they start forgetting. So if you get souls that are spirits that are stuck in a place, sometimes a haunted location, sometimes it's the actual people that've got the haunted location that don't want the souls to go away, so they can get more investigators and money to come into that place. I say it out. Like I said, I don't have any filters. I say it straight. Sorry.
Yeah, I've had venues tell me, don't cross my spirits over.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like,
there you go. Yeah.
If they ask me to help, I'm helping.
Exactly. You cross them over. But that's and even us as people, the ones that are left behind, we mourn our dead. So the more you mourn them, the more you keep them back, and you don't let them go. Or the more you're sitting there going, "Oh, Dad, please, why did you go? Why did you leave me?" Or even your husband or anything, you mourn them, so you're keeping them back. That's why I say it's good to light up a little candle near the photo, so they can come and go whenever they want.
Yep, exactly. And what are your guys' opinion? I know everyone has different opinions on this one too. Television shows, paranormal television shows, and how they affect psychics or even the paranormal field.
Hang on, tell me again how many. First of all, Leigh, thank you for my happy. It was our Easter, Greek Easter yesterday, Saturday, and thank you, Leigh. So yeah, tell me again. I didn't quite catch.
Oh, that's okay. Television shows.
Yes.
I know a lot of people. Some of them are over the top. Others are kind of more, techie, I guess you would say. But how do you feel TV shows are either hurting or helping the field?
Both. Depends on if it's an overproduction, right? And I've seen a lot of them that they're lying, or it's all like they're doing it really Hollywood style, So sorry, and it's good. See, for me, when you're doing a TV show like that, okay, it's got to be raw. You got to catch the moment. Like Big Brother used to catch the moment of them, what they were doing in the house. That's what you need to do. Catch the moment, the raw moment of what's happening. Then sit down after that and explain to the audience why it happened, how it happened, what triggered it off. Don't go to the next episode without explaining and leaving, the audience. Okay, what happened? Like, for instance, who can I say? I'm not going to say any names, but It's hard not to say names, but oh my God, I got slapped. Yeah, show me the slap. Where is it?
Right.
Why did you get slapped? What happened before you got slapped? What did you do before you got slapped? Did you provoke? Did you what happened? Explain to me why. Don't just sit there and go, oh my God, I got slapped. No, you didn't get slapped. I don't see any fingerprints. What's going on?
And because people demand that, that's when they're slapping each other off camera. And then they're like, oh, look at my slap mark.
Exactly. I agree.
Nicole, what are your thoughts on TV shows?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. They're just for like entertainment, but I'm gonna like do what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was talking about before you guys came on the show. If you're gonna be in the field, do you. Don't mimic what's on TV.
Thank you.
Because even if you're in this to get a TV show, if you mimic what's already on TV, no one's going to notice you because they already have that show.
Yeah, true.
You want to kind of just, Lisa, she wants the job of the slapper. But yeah, and it's what the other thing is that people don't realize is they think you can go to a location and have instant EVPs.
I know.
It's like for our 90-minute documentaries that we did, we filmed all day in Goldfield and Gold Point. We traveled from morning to night, and then in Nelson for several hours. Still, we got barely any evidence whatsoever for, and they had to fill in the rest of the documentary with historical, footage.
Exactly. Just say you go in the field and the spirit is there in there is deaf and mute. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Hey, talk to me. No.
Or we're throwing all these tech gadgets at them, and they're like, okay, I'm from the 1700s. I have no clue.
Exactly.
I'd like to ask, funny questions. Do you like ice cream? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Yep.
To break the ice type of thing.
Yeah. Ask weird questions, because I've done several blogs on 13 EVP questions, out of the box EVP questions to ask when you're at a cemetery or a haunted hospital. And I was inspired by that because my son went on his first investigation with the team that I was on. And it was actually a public investigation that we were doing for Halloween. And the lead investigator was like, make sure you ask questions that are out of the box. Don't stick with the who are you? How'd you die? Exactly. Why are you here? Do you know where you're at? And so then my son's like, is the earth round or flat? Cool. And he got an answer, round, and then he's like, is the tomato a fruit or a vegetable? And they came back fruit.
Oh, good. No,
and it's just interesting, ask things that, because you don't want to bore the spirits either.
No. And you know what? Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry.
They're not going to answer. Sorry, Nicole. Go on. Sorry. Go.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but a friend of mine asked, who's the president of the United States? And they thought, something I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't know, this lie. Then they only remember what was in, before they died. Mm-hmm. And, you can't push them to answer. They will answer at their own time. Mm-hmm. Their time with our timeline is totally different. Mm-hmm. I've had those girls in the background go on to investigations in Alabama, both of them. They did the first investigation in Alabama. They loved it. Mm-hmm. At a haunted location.
Yep. Yeah. My son loves it too. He's had many, many experiences, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Watching his face.
Yeah, no, it is, because one's 11, the nice 11, Hippolyta's 13. So it was a bit for an 11-year-old, but she pulled through quite well. She did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's good to see them out there in the field actually, and having, a mum like you, knowing what she's doing and actually educating a child in, hey, do it this way, do it the way you feel, but I'm right behind you to guide you.
Yep. Yeah. And I always joke, because my paranormal team is now my husband and my son, and the only reason why my husband's on it is because he doesn't want me going to locations alone when my son can't go. And I always joke that, hey, I've trained them right.
Exactly.
They're not affected by paranormal shows.
I'm laughing at Leigh. She goes, I want the job of being the slapper.
Yeah. Lee's funny. She's been on. She comes on as a viewer every week, and I always love some of her comments.
Yeah, they are unique.
And we still have some time, but I wanted to ask a question about time slipping. I know one example is a friend of mine, Mark Nesbitt, runs the Gettysburg tours up in Gettysburg. And in one of his books, he wrote about at one of the buildings, if you go into the basement, several people have experienced the doors opening and them walking into a Civil War hospital where they could smell the blood, hear the screams, see the blood. And then they get in the hospital or get back in the elevator, go up, get someone to come down with them. They go back and it's completely gone. He's referred to that as a time slip. Would that fit in that category, or do you guys have any suggestions on that?
No, it's got to do, the main word is time.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's called time jump, time slip, time, timeline jump or whatever, it's got to do with time. Mm-hmm. You're going back in time. So, yeah, no, he's right. Mm-hmm. He's right.
I keep going. Whenever I go to Gettysburg, I go to that building just because I want to see that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because when you walk into a place and you start touching the walls or your stuff, you can actually see what has happened in the past. So it's brilliant.
Yeah. And that actually, since I'm talking about Gettysburg, that reminds me of something. One of the spirits that I have seen full apparition was at Gettysburg. And it has now come out that Matthew Brady, it was the sniper at Devil's Den. And It's now come out that Matthew Brady's assistant dragged that body from the field and staged the whole photo. Do you think disturbances or movement like that could affect paranormal activity?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Yeah, and it's funny, too, because they recently released a photo because they've identified the guy. And I'm like, that's who I saw. And this was like back when I was 20.
There you go. Definitely. It does. So, it does affect. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And then talking to my mom just this past week when I went to go visit her, I showed her the photo and she goes, yeah, I see him whenever I'm at Devil's Den too. He kind of just hangs around the rocks right here.
There you go. So mom's got abilities too. Excellent.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, she tells me one weekend I was visiting her and she woke me up and said that she was seeing a red orb just kind of bouncing on her ceiling. Mm. And I don't know all the details, but I asked her if she was afraid and she's like, no, I was calm and comforted. And I'm like, as long as you're not afraid, you should be good.
Good.
So, but yeah, she's seen several things as well that she can never explain.
Yeah.
So she's always reaching out and asking me questions. And I'm like, half the time, I don't even know. But anyway, I do want to thank you ladies for joining me today. It's been a great conversation. Definitely going to have you both back on the show, whether together or separate. I know I have a whole bunch of shows planned later this year as well. But before we go, can you just let everybody know where they can find you if they have any questions?
Well, they can find me as Katrine Sorilos on Facebook, or Oracle Whispers by Katrine Sorilos on Facebook, Oracle Whispers on Instagram, and Oracle Whispers on TikTok.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And Nicole?
Yeah, everywhere else on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Paranormal Corner, Thank You Ray, podcast, every Tuesday evening.
Okay. And tell everybody about your show tonight.
I'll have you at the Yes Night. Talk about Weisborn and your latest book. Yeah, looking forward to it. 96 p.m. Pacific time.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to that tonight. But thank you, ladies, for joining me. I will definitely be in contact, and it was great talking to you both.
Same here. Thank you.
You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, everyone, great show. I hope you really enjoyed that. Definitely looking forward to having both those ladies back on the show. You guys know I've had Nicole on before. She's an amazing guest, many experiences. Her books are interesting. She always shares her experiences and is always an open book. And Katrine, I've always viewed her as a mentor whenever I've had questions about psychic abilities or anything related to the psychic abilities. I've always reached out to her and talked to her about that. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure you keep an eye on my Facebook page at Heather Leigh, at Exploring the Paranormal Show, or at Dr. Heather Leigh. I will be posting that video that Katrine was talking about, as well as links to their social media pages for both Nicole and Katrine as well. And I think I have the link up for Nicole's show tonight, but if not, that'll be up too as well. And like she said, tonight we're going to be talking about my newest book coming out in September, Haunted Florida Lighthouses, and also Ouija board communications is something we're going to be talking about later today. And with that said, next week I have a couple weeks ago I had Tony Spera on the show, but now I have Dan Rivera from Nesper coming on the with Lorraine Warren, his experiences in the field, and also discuss more about their event coming up in October, the Warren Seekers Paracon. I know they changed the name. I'll get that information on my Facebook page as well. I just cannot remember because they're changing it up. When I talked to Tony, he was talking about how they were changing things up. They're bringing in musicians, some horror stars, a whole bunch of different talent coming in. It's going to be an amazing show. And by the end of this month, I'll know if I'm going up to that show with a table. So I'll definitely let you guys know if I'm going to be there. And if I do go, I'm going to have all my different herbal mixtures. I might have some of my oil sprays with me, as well as, of course, where you can get autographed copies of my books at that time. Because the good thing about it is the show's after my book comes out. So that's the perfect timing and the perfect venue for me to start selling it and introducing it to the world. But again, like I said, Dan Rivera will be next week. And thank you, Nicole. I saw your comments in the private chat. I'll definitely be in touch with everybody who was on the show. And like I said, with all that information, just to recap a few things that we've talked about. I see a comment that I didn't see earlier. When we were talking about the different shows, Lee had said Dead Files and Kindred Spirits help and the rest do not. I do have to agree with you. I watch the shows more or less to get ideas. Because sometimes if you're watching a show, an idea will pop in your head. I like their different experiments that they do. And it kind of gives me an idea of how to do an experiment. I don't always do it the way they do it. I'll kind of tweak it and do it my way. And that just goes back to you do you. Do what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you happy, and everything along that line. So if you guys have any questions, we still have a few more minutes to go over that. Actually, I'm going to bring up real quick, give me 1 second here, the shows that I have scheduled, because I scheduled a few new shows so far for the year to give you guys an idea of who's coming on, so you can mark your calendars now. But of course, like I always tell everybody, mark your calendar for every Tuesday morning, because I'm always going to have something interesting happening on the show. Okay, we have, like I had said, Dan Rivera will be on next week. Christopher and Anson from Anubis Paranormal will be on May 2nd. May 9th, we have, actually, let me pull up that email real quick to give you the information on that so I get the names right. But on May 16th, we have David Taylor and Christy of Our Haunted Lives coming back on. And on, what was it, May 9th, I said? Yeah, May 9th. I have, it is from, let me get the Hatman Project. I wanted to make sure that I got everything correctly. It was the Hatman Project, which is currently being filmed by the Village Rosso Productions, is going to be coming on with Pastor Timothy Brown Jr. He is the owner and founder of the project, along with Philomena will be joining me as well for that one. And we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of different experiments that they've done, the research that they've done, and talk about, I know I'm reading her email real quick because there's a few things that they can't let out yet because it's still in production and under research, but they are going to talk about what they can talk about regarding that project and share a whole bunch of information on that as well. And I know it was rescheduled in the past, but again, on Ghost Education 101 on April 26th, We have the Haunted Librarian for York Ghost Merchants. On May 10th, we're double booked, but I'm going to see what we can do about that. It's supposed to be either guest Ron Stokes, or I might bump him back a week. We'll be on that one, or we might be redoing the presentation that we had to cancel a couple times on hosting a paranormal event. But several things planning on Ghost Education 101, including Ouija board presentations, presentations on collecting evidence, and we might start recycling through some of our stuff on how to do different things that we used to do in the beginning of Ghost Education, because that was one of my favorite shows. But make sure you guys, like I always say, I can't say enough. Wish I could give more information about some of the things that we have planned, but unfortunately, until there's full confirmation, really can't give that information out quite yet. But definitely looking forward to what everything has in store for us as well. And once these things become possible, we'll be making announcements on the show, as well as on, actually, you know what I'll do? When these things become possible, I'll save it. As much as it's going to kill me, I'll save it until my next show, and we'll make the announcement at the beginning of an upcoming show. So definitely stay tuned. For those of you watching the replay, make sure you come back. For those of you who want to watch this again, you can find it on Facebook. It'll be on YouTube on WLTK TV Radio. And I'll also put it in one of my watch lists on my Facebook page, which is Dr. Heather Leigh. Actually, I think my Facebook is Heather Leigh, PhD. But you'll find me. Just Google search me. And then YouTube. And then I will also post the link on my Facebook page for the podcast, where you can download it and listen to it whenever you're ready to, or whenever you need to. I know someone who downloads it and he listens it in his car whenever he's driving to work. So again, thank you everyone for joining us today. I want to do another quick shout out to my guests, Nicole and Katrine. You guys were amazing as always. And definitely looking forward to next week's presentation or discussion with Dan Rivera. I love talking. I talked to him for quite a bit one time, and definitely a lot of interesting things we talked about. But again, earlier, don't forget we chatted a bit more about my show sponsor, Omni Interactions. Please, guys, if you can, take time today and learn more about their self-scheduling opportunities. This is perfect for the life of a paranormal researcher. And like I said, my husband's been working for them for quite a while, and I'm super excited to have them as a sponsor. You can learn more on my website at heatherleephd.com, and at the top you'll see an Exploring the Paranormal logo. Click on that. That takes you to my show page. Or you can learn more at getgig.life/paranormal. And as always, make sure you tell them that Dr. Heather Leigh sent you. Again, thank you guys, everyone, for joining. I'm super excited again to do this show, and I'm looking forward to next week. So you guys all have a fabulous week.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.